It's time for our daily dose of the Leopards Ate My Face subreddit. So this person titled this one Hook, Line, and Sinker. And this screenshot is probably from the conservative subreddit because they take a lot of comments and posts from there. This person says, yeah, I don't agree with a number of the Project 2025 policies. He said he had nothing to do with that. I hope he keeps his word. Despite the fact that this man is a liar and a fraudster and is always getting caught up in lies, these people still believe him for some reason. Okay, anyways, this person says, I am a Republican, but I have a heart for the poorest and most vulnerable citizens like children. I'm not talking about illegal migrant children. F them kids. F them kids. Although we need to make sure they are handled humanely, I'm talking about children that are actual citizens of this country. Same with people with disabilities and the senior citizens. Yes, we need to cut the deficit, but not at the expense of the most vulnerable. When have Republicans ever gave a damn about poor people? When have Republicans ever gave a damn about children once they are born? And the thing is, she's talking about she wants to have a heart for the children that are citizens of this country. Well, what if they have parents that are undocumented and the parents have to go? Are you okay with the kids staying here? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Of course, they're going to enact Project 2025. They've already started hiring a bunch of people that wrote Project 2025. Once these people figure out that this administration is a bunch of liars, then their life will improve. They hired a bunch of liars. Duh. Let's get into the comments. Al Y says, I am calling BS. The GOP constantly votes against children, women, veterans, and the disabled. Exactly. Yeah, duh. I will translate it to normal human understanding. I am against anything that doesn't affect me, but everyone else can go die. Yep, that pretty much seems like it. Marcus to you says it's delusion. They want to believe they care about people and are devout Christians, but in practice, neither things are true. Bring me your tired, you're poor, and paraphrasing. It's easier to fit through the eye of a needle than be rich and get into heaven, somehow equate to making more money and mass deportation. But even this person, this woman says, F them illegal immigrant children. I don't care about them. They don't care. These good Christians don't care about people. The OP said Trump supporter voted for him to support his immigration policies because they are oppressive to illegal immigrants. They are now quickly realizing that his Project 2025 policies are actually oppressive to everyone, including themselves and the people they claim to care for the most. These Project 2025 policies will hurt the most vulnerable by increasing poverty, hardship, and driving up uninsured rates. Trump has now hired 5 appointees that have contributed to Project 2025, which is a 900-page document that details programs that will hurt all Americans, but especially the poor, children, disabled, and veterans. Vivek and Elon are in charge of DOGE, which is a new program that was created to cut spending. They have already vowed to cut spending that would gut veterans' medical benefits that help those that are disabled, which is one of the things this voter was explicitly against and thought wouldn't affect them. Now, this voter is missing their face after voting for Project 2025 policies that have a negative effect on their own life and others. Yes, enjoy. Enjoy. We all get to sit back and watch this happen. Speaking of Project 2025, Trump's transition team turns to Project 2025 after disavowing it during the campaign. We all knew this was coming. If you had any sense, you knew that this was coming, especially since most of the writers already worked for him. Okay, here's the article. I'm not going to do the whole article. I will do it in a separate post later. It says Trump's transition team turns to Project 2025 after disavowing it during the campaign. Transition officials have used Project 2025's extensive personnel database to identify potential hires for the incoming administration, a person familiar with the plan said. And if you look really closely at this picture, there is not a whole lot of colored faces on there. There's a whole lot of non-colored faces on there. President-elect Donald Trump and his allies disavowed the conservative Project 2025 during the election, seeing the conservative transition plan and policy blueprint as a liability after Democrats used it to attack his campaign. Some close to Trump even suggested those tied to the efforts would be shut out of the potential administration. They made themselves nuclear. Howard Lutnick, the co-chair of Trump's transition and his nominee to serve as Commerce Secretary, told CNBC in September. But with the campaign over, Trump's transition team is turning to Project 2025 to help staff the next administration. Already, transition officials are taking suggestions for potential hires from the extensive personnel database created by Project 2025. While Project 2025's massive book of conservative policy recommendations received most of the attention from Democrats, a central part of the effort was putting together a database that officials had framed as a conservative LinkedIn to help staff an incoming Republican administration. We are all in for a treat as we transition to a theocracy. This one is titled They Fell For It, Oh Well. So these people, Arab Americans for Trump, will continue to baffle me. It's as if they don't remember what happened during his first administration, but they will probably be reminded, just like the farmers being reminded what the tariffs did to their businesses during the first administration. They keep falling for this thing over and over. Muslims who voted for Trump deeply upset by his pro-Israel cabinet picks. Trump won because of us, and we're not happy with his Secretary of State pick and others, said Rabiul Chaudhry, who chaired the Abandon Harris campaign in Pennsylvania and co-founded Muslims for Trump. Muslim support for Trump helped him win Michigan and may have factored into other swing state wins. We are very disappointed, says Rex Hinaldo Nazarko, executive director of Amin. It seems like his administration has been packed entirely with neoconservatives and extremely pro-Israel, pro-war people, which is a failure on the side of President Trump to, to the pro-peace and anti-war movement. It is not a failure of Trump. It is a failure of you all to understand who he is, and I am unsure why. Why? Why did you think that he was all of a sudden going to be for your people and for your cause? What gave you that impression? I just love video games says, wow. We can't believe the person who put a Muslim ban is racist towards Muslims. How could we ever have predicted this? Calf Monster says they had 4 years of cozying up to Israel to a level never seen before. I mean, it's naive as F that they'd expect a full disavowing of Israel in general, since that's like basically never going to happen in U.S. foreign policy. But Trump, the man with a settlement in Golan named after him, the only president to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem because every other president thought that was needlessly provocative, the man who told Bibi to finish the job, tons of other extremely pro-Israel things in general. Congrats on ignoring history and playing yourself. Yes, congrats. You played yourself. And then this person at the bottom says, and dragging the rest of us down with you. Like, these people they really poop the bed and they are sitting in it. They're smelling it. It's just like, ugh, this is gross. I wonder if he's going to clean this up. No, you cleaned it up. You clean it up. You poop the bed. Now you figure it out. This one is titled "I've Got the Best People," and then they shared some screenshots. Okay, so the Patriot Voice says, "I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm supremely disappointed in the real Donald Trump pick for Surgeon General, Dr. Janet Neshawat. I'm not going to be silent about it. Who the hell thought it was a good idea to suggest a woman that praised COVID death jab as a gift from God and praised Facebook for censoring the truth about how the vax is unaliving millions of people and going further, wanting more censorship on other platforms? While she went on record about this during the height of COVID 3 years ago, I cannot find a single time she has corrected these horrific statements. I am frankly disgusted and repulsed by this pick. It's clear that Big Pharma definitely has a stake in Trump 2.0. I wonder how Robert Kennedy feels about that. Bad picks for the next admin deserve to be properly called out and shamed. We are not a damn cult. And whenever somebody has to say we're not a damn cult, they're probably in a cult. It is not only his admin, but more that it's we the people who prayed for, grinded for, and ultimately voted for Trump. We fully reject this. All right, let's look at some of the responses. This man named Dominic says, honestly, John, most of the picks have been terrible. A few have been fine, but we certainly are not getting an America First agenda with these guys. John, the Patriot Voice says, I feel like it's one great pick for every 2 or 3 awful picks. That is the truth. Dominic says, agreed, going to remain optimistic. Hopefully they will fall in line with what the American people want. The Patriot Voice says 100. At the end of the day, Trump has the final say. We should still be loud about the awful picks. And Honesty says, as it should be, agree. Trump's pick for Surgeon General, CDC Director, and CMS Administrator positions are indeed disappointing. Lots of people are certainly not happy about it. Yeah, lots of people are not happy about any of this. So get in line. Yeah, everybody's going to be complaining, but it is certainly funny to watch his people melt down over these terrible choices. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about all of these posts from The Leopards Ate My Voice. Let me know what you think. Like, comment. Okay, so you all are going to laugh at me. I thought SW here meant ex worker, not Star Wars. This comes into play in a little bit when I didn't understand what some references were. Here's the video. Go ahead and laugh at me. LOL. This is a good discussion to have. I saw this one in the QAnon casualties subreddit. This person says they actually know how bad things are going to get. They've known it since the beginning. Okay, that's a good premise. Let's get into it. This person says, sure, there are some Trump supporters who don't know what tariffs are, but don't be fooled. Many who voted for him know what they are and what all the consequences of him winning entailed. My parents actually know what tariffs are and how they work, yet they still voted for him and want the tariffs. Their reasoning was that we need more American made stuff and a better economy. And having tariffs and getting rid of employee benefits as well as lowering wages is the way to go about it. I don't know how they're going to lower wages and bring jobs here, considering Americans are going to demand more money for work. They've said that anybody who thinks differently is stupid. Their logic is that things have to get worse before they get better. They also go on and on about their hatred for immigrants, women, LGBTQ people, etc. The Trump supporters, including my parents, fear and hate other groups so much they're willing to destroy themselves just to see others suffer. As an as a sex worker fan, I gotta say it's like they're in real life representation of the dark side. She's calling her parents a real life representation of the dark side. I just had to repeat that part. She said, this person says it's just so infuriating and upsetting. Many Trump supporters also think Biden caused the war in Ukraine. I don't know if my parents think this, but I do know they think Biden is trying to get the United States involved with boots on the ground, and many Trump supporters feel that way. None of what they believe about the war in Ukraine is true. I would like to reiterate they know how bad things are going to get. It's what they wanted from the very beginning. They fear and hate others so much they're willing to destroy the country and suffer, all while thinking this will cause everything to get better, their version of society being better. I want to go back to this part. If their version of society getting better means getting rid of immigrants, putting down women, like eradicating the LGBTQ people. Like, literally, are you supposed to get rid of a whole swaths of society in order for it to be better? Are all of these people just supposed to just disappear and then all of a sudden, poof, you have a better country? I don't know what their end game is, but it definitely seems like they are perfectly fine with suffering. It really does seem like that because this is like back in the day when they desegregated schools and then whole schools just shut down because they didn't want to go to school. They didn't want their kids to go to school with the coloreds. How they cemented over whole pools so that their kids didn't have to swim with the coloreds. That's what these people say. Like, we're not going to enjoy anything because we don't want to be around you people. That's how this is all coming across to me. All right, let's get into some of these comments. Speaking of Star Wars, we're actually living the Revenge of the Sith movie right now. Were we speaking about Star Wars? I must have missed it. I must have missed something. This person says, I'd say Empire Strikes Back. I'm not into Star Wars or sci-fi stuff, so none of these references really hit me in the head. MAGA is just a crowd cheering, long live the Empire. The Empire brings peace, prosperity, and order. This person says, yeah, I saw how Jar Jar was just nominated for a cabinet position. I think I saw that one too. I'm not sure which cabinet position, but I'm sure we'll get more details about Jar Jar soon. Tricky Fun says, some advice: disappear somewhere safe, make a life, leave the parents behind. You have to focus on you. Here's the reason. You have to be prepared for the possibility that things in this country are going to get very sporty real quick. You don't want to be affiliated with a political party because then you have to pick a side. But things are going to get worse, not because of tariffs, but rather because those morons who are so sure they are right will pile up the bodies in the near future. You don't want to be a part of that. Half the body politic in this country is so tied to apocalyptic eschatology. I'm not sure what eschatology is. It justifies the bad things they do. Only a matter of time before they will start imprisoning and unaliving people based on their self righteousness. Get away from the insane. You can't save them. This cycle repeats through history, except this time it's not going to be funny like satanic panic. It's going to result in deaths, terrorism, and maybe war. Protect yourself. And then this person is like wondering, where is it safe? Where is safe? I don't know where safe is. Persimmon T says, there's some very painful truth in this statement. To everyone in this poor, broke country, I say, pay attention to what's stated above. Get a passport, get non perishable food, see if your doctor will write a 90-day or more prescription for your prescriptions, get pet supplies, get a shotgun, get birth control. If your car needs big maintenance or repair or new tires, do it now. If you need an elective procedure, do it now. If you were going to divorce, do it now. If you're thinking of getting surgical sterilization, do it now. If you're feeling hopeful, plan to plant a veggie garden in the spring. Now is the time to simply cut the ties to the Q and the MAGA people in your life. There's a good chance we are entering a time when people will be asked to inform on other people, asked if they know enemies of the state, and you are one. They've made their choice. They just need to give it a voice, and they'll be using their voice to save themselves, not you. Man, this is really sounding like 1984. I might not know Star Wars, but I know 1984 and I know Animal Farm, and that just seems to be the dystopian world that we're marching into. Hope and New Hope says people only want made in the USA until it's time to pay for it. We did an entire home renovation and bought a significant amount of USA made materials, furniture, appliance, etc. I absolutely judge people who buy their washer and dryer at Costco and then complain when it's garbage. And these people voted for Trump. The OP says, in the sixth grade, we did a class activity where we checked to see where our shirts were made. Only one kid had a shirt that was made in America, and their shirt costs about double everybody else's. Rand DeMac says, last time tariffs led to more products made in India, Vietnam, etc. And then the OP says, I think Trump wants to put a tariff on all imports, not just stuff from China. Even things made in the US will go up in price because of them using imported materials to make whatever they're making. Imports are just inevitable at many points. It's going to be crazy because so many people don't realize how many things that we get from other countries. We live in a global society. So we're going to all feel this one way or another. Even, in things where you don't even think about it, just because, like this person said, they're using the materials from other countries, even if the whole products don't come from other countries. All right, join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this line of thinking. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. There's going to be so many ramifications and consequences because of this forced birther administration and theocracy going forward. This person posted this in the marriage subreddit saying, my wife told me no more sex until I get a vasectomy. He says, my wife was pretty upset about the result of the election and is an extremely pro-choice person. We live in the South where it's deeply red, and they have pretty much all but banned abortions. My wife does not want to risk getting pregnant. We have been married for 15 years, together for 19. No children because neither of us wanted them. I'm somewhat upset by her ultimatum, but I can also see her side. Any recommendations on how to move through this? And then everybody, get a vasectomy. Either get the vasectomy or stop having sex. Get a vasectomy. Those are literally the top 3 comments. Just get a vasectomy. This is life or death for many women, and women do not want to risk it. Just do it, especially since it's literally an outpatient procedure for most men. Ex Girly 789 says, "Are you against getting a vasectomy? If you don't want kids, it's cheaper and easier just to get one. My husband offered as soon as the election results came in." Dr. Fogel says, "We use zero protection for 8 years, thought we were in the clear, then bam. My daughter comes along and I'm right back going to kids' birthday parties and I'm the old dad. Get the vasectomy. Sex is better after you get it." The OP says, "She and I have discussed it and I have spoken with my urologist about it. I'm just put off by the ultimatum since we haven't used birth control for the last 10 years." The thing is, he's put off. He's put off by the ultimatum, but women's lives are literally impacted, and he has hurt feelings. His feelings are hurt. So, now he needs to whine. Just do it. Women are literally fighting and clawing for our rights, and all you have to do is get the snip, and you don't even want children. So, what is the problem? And then, like Weird Cranberry says, but abortions weren't banned during those years. They are now. That changes quite literally everything. And then New Nobody says, but poor OP was given an ultimatum and now his ego can't see past his own feelings. Yes, he has feelings. Throwaway Grosso says, well, in the last 10 years, abortions were easier to get. And ex Girly says, really? Things aren't the same as 10 years ago. If she accidentally got pregnant in your state, she could either be forced to carry a baby to term, be prosecuted for having an abortion in another state, or die. So, yes, it has changed. And you are lucky the pullout method has been working. Usually it doesn't. Excellent Singer says, it's not an ultimatum, it's a boundary. She's not willing to risk pregnancy. Paisley Way says, I'm pretty sure your wife is more put off by the idea of carrying a child to term against her own will or dying in the process. Exactly. Can we get some people to have some sense about themselves? Like, let's put some things into focus. No, you don't want to do these things. I'm sure she doesn't want you to have to do anything as well. But this is definitely a different political season. This is a different world now, especially since we're moving into the Handmaid's Tale. So please proceed with caution and just go handle your business. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.